Morning. Morning.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to see the show, Pebble Mill. I've got a ticket here, look.
Hey, I'm sorry, sir. No.
Oh, no, come on. Oh, no, please. No, wait a minute. All right. I'll give in. I'm going home.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Can you tell me where the Pebble Mill thing will be booked? Because I'm going to see the show. I've got a ticket.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's, you need to go straight on through this. The wrong studio, yeah.
I know you and all cool. We're not lucky. And Nick, he's smashing.
Hello,
I've got to run it because I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah, you're
Can't go looking like that, you know.
a bit scruffy.
Oh, it's all right, isn't it? I ain't got anything
Tell you
else.
what, I've got something down here which I'm not wearing anymore. Perhaps that would suit you.
A suit?
Really
God,
is.
you
It's quite
made my life. I want to nip this
well,
on.
the gents is just down there, just before you get
I'll
there.
get changed at the ta-da then.
Okay, good luck.
Goodbye, thank you.
Clowning around. I mean, I thought I'd been doing it all my life until I saw him in action. After 60-odd years in showbiz, he really has perfected it. Please give a warm welcome to the one and only Norman Wisdom. Norman Wisdom. So, Norman!
I'm here, what?
Come, could you come up? Norman,
I didn't know how to do anything. I was here looking at...
No, could you please come and join? Yes. Is it Norman Wisdom? Oh, no. Norman, did you have a bit of trouble getting here, did you?
Well, you know, they chucked me out, and I determined. I was watching it, and I thought...
Well, it's lovely to have you here anyway.
Well, it's lovely
We're
to be
going to
here.
talk all about your career today. It's been an amazing career. Films, theatre, television, and musicals, and you've just brought out an album, haven't you?
Oh, yes, and music and lyrics, which I composed myself.
Oh, you've wrote a lot of the songs yourself, did you?
All of them.
Yeah, all of them, yeah. Do you find it easy to... How do you write a song?
Well, it's easy writing a song. You know, you think of the lyrics, and then you think, hey, I've written a song about writing a song.
You haven't?
I have. I'll sing it for you now.
Yeah, what's in it for us now?
All right, then.
How to write a song, Norman Wisdom.
Just to show that writing a song is a simple affair, romantic thoughts that are chosen with care. An ear for music with a poetical flair, some paper, a pen, and a comfortable chair. And then it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, nice and slow. Not too soft and not too loud, just let it grow. Really try, but not too high and not too low. Set the key and see how free the melody will flow. Now we're near the end of the verse that we could make forgettable. Of course, it might have been worse. Then we start to work on the chorus, learn the words that never bore us. If we concentrate, we're ready to rehearse. So watch the beat and count the bars. And if we get it right, then we've seen the light, and we can thank our lucky stars. Because music is the greatest creation since time began. Anything else that is to compete is an also-ran. All the joys of lovely noise that hold you in its spell. The ups and downs, the pitch of sounds, the tinkle of a bell. Music comprises of dots in all sizes with signs that at times may confuse us. But you can bet we go right up the wall if we had no music at all. 'Cause this world would never excuse us if we didn't have songs to amuse us. There'd be no opera, jazz or classical ballet, no hymns church if we wanted to marry. No pop groups with fans who were waiting to scream. Just imagine no band to play God Save the Queen. You need melodies with lyrics that will keep you in hysterics. Though so funny you'll be laughing till you cry. Memories that haunt you, you don't want them, but they taunt you till you're smiling with a teardrop in your eye. We love music 'cause it's friendly and warm in lonely times. Beautiful tunes to be heard with affectionate words that rhyme. When lovers fall out, then want to make up, there's nothing more divine. And it's easy to see that it's happened to me, because I'm still hers and she's still mine. And she's still mine.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
No, every time you walk towards me, I think you're going to throw yourself at me. Perhaps it's just wishful thinking. Norman, for somebody who is so musically accomplished, you might think that you were surrounded by music as a child, but I've read your autobiography, and it's a very sad story about your youth, isn't it?
Well, it looks a bit sad here and there, but I just had a wonderful, wonderful time. I mean, imagine at 14 years of age, well, I was a cabin boy. I ran away, got to Cardiff and was a cabin boy at sea. I was right up the River Plate in the Argentine. And
but for the
if somebody did that these days, the police would be chasing them all over the place.
But for the first few years of your life, I mean, from the, 9, 10, 11, you were on the street sort of looking after yourself with your brother, weren't you?
I was born in very sorry circumstances. Both of my parents were very sorry. Yeah, really, yeah. I was born in London, went to school in Scotland. It used to be dead time when I got home at night, hadn't it? Really, this is all true. Mind you, I was lucky, because having a hard time, at least I was my teacher's pet. She couldn't afford a dog. So, no, I mustn't mess about like this all the time.
Now, you got into the army by pretending that you were musical, didn't you?
Well, that's right. I was honestly sleeping rough just off Grosvenor Square, in doorways and all that sort of thing, and hungry. And at about 2:30 in the morning, I used to get up and go to a coffee stall keeper, and I used to just look over the desk at the top of, the shelf, like that, sadly, and he'd push me a hot pie and a cup of Bovril. Really true. And after about 6 or 7 nights of that, he said to me, "Why don't you join in the army?" I said, "I can't get in the army at my size." He said, "Well, you've got to do something." He said, "Well, why don't you just go and try it, kid 'em?" I said, "Well, kid 'em for what?" He said, "Well, get in the band as a boy, that's it." I said, "I don't know anything about music." He said, "Well, kid 'em." So I went to Scotland Yard, which was a recruiting centre at that time, and I had the medical. Actually, the following morning, because the guard let me stay in the guard room that night for a kip, and I had the medical. And honestly, I was 4'10.5" tall, and I weighed 5 stone 9 at that time. Really true. And then about a couple of hours later, I had an interview with the bandmaster, and he said, "You want to be in the band?" I said, "Oh yes, please, sir." He said, "You know all about music?" I said, "Oh yes, sir." He said, "Well, what's a flat?" And I said, "I don't know that one, sir." He said, "Well, what's a sharp?" I said, "I don't know that one either, sir." Like we were asking riddles, you see. And he said, "Well, you don't know anything about music." I said, "No, sir. I'd like a chance to learn." And he took me. He said, all right. And 2 weeks later, I was on my way to India, joining the 10th Royal Hussars and having the time of my life. Wonderful sunshine, cricket, football, swimming, learning music, and the most important thing of all, wonderful chums.
But did they teach you instruments?
Yes, oh yeah, that was in the band. Yes, you had to have, I was put on clarinet, and, because it takes you a couple of years to learn the clarinet properly, but then the band used to sing sea shanties. Hey, hey, chicka chicka in the jaunting. I won't carry on with that.
It was quite nice.
All right then. So, and they used to do that for troop concerts and all that. And I said to the bandmaster one day, "Excuse me," so I said, "Why is it nobody sings the solos when you're doing the sea shanty?" He said, "We haven't got anybody who sings this." I said, oh, yes, yes, sir. He said, really? Well, let me hear you. So I sang a little old Jack Buchanan number. You must say yes to Mr. Brown. And so the very next troop concert, I was out singing You Must Say Yes, and Hey, hey, jiggy, jiggy, and a joint, all that stuff. But I had to be in the front line, you know, because they couldn't just bring me up for anybody. So I was put on clarinet. I couldn't play it very well yet in the front line. And then I just playing the chuck-chucks.
The chuck-chucks?
Yeah, you know what chuck-chucks are? Well, if the band's playing the Blue Danube, for instance, la da 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 da, chuck chuck chuck, la 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 da 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 da, chuck chuck chuck. See, so then I was doing hey hey and all that stuff, and so then I thought, hey, I began to get applause, and the blokes were applauding and saying well done, and I began to just feel, hey, cool. So I went in the wash house, and gradually, you don't mind if I stand up?
No, please.
You know the difference when I'm standing up.
Yes.
So, but I just. And I started that, you see, and then I went to the bandmaster about 6 or 7 weeks later, and I said, excuse me, sir, what would it be like if somebody did a tap dance at the next troop concert, you see, in front of the band? He said, don't tell me, Wisdom. I said, yes, sir. And so then I was, chuck, 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 and hey, hey, jiggy, jiggy in a jaunting car, and singing. And then this is sheer swank.
Yeah, go on then.
But I was mad on athletics, gymnastics and all that, and I became the flyweight champion of the British Army in India, boxing. That was only because there was no other small blokes, I do believe it. And I used to get knocked down in the gymnasium, let the blokes knock me down, and hit them, you know, like, I don't know if this, shall I do a, hey, you know.
Well, you're up, you might as well.
Hey? Well, if I hit the bloke, see, I've got to be careful of the edge there, see, I don't do it there. If I hit a bloke there, he hits me back, see. I won't do that again.
No, please don't. Please don't. So, you've taken me off. I was asking. So how many musical instruments did you learn to play?
11. 11 different ones, but because there was 17 boys in the band, and you become a man when you reach the age of 18, and they're all on different instruments. And I was on clarinet, as you know. Yeah. Chuck, chuck, you know what a chuck, chuck.
I know what a chuck, chuck is.
And but after a while, you become bored with the same instrument. So you borrow another bloke's trumpet, and he borrows your clarinet. Then you bit of a trombone, and then the violin and banjo. I was in the string orchestra, and you know, gradually you learn to play them all. Not brilliantly, but I did learn to play.
Good enough. I mean, would you play us a little selection? We just happen to have a few.
Don't know what I got there.
Well, sort something out. But,
well, will you excuse me?
Oh, well, excuse me. Mr. Norman Winston entertains with a selection of instruments.
Hey, you there? Come on, Jack. Oh, sure. Right.
Norman. Yeah, very nice, but, you know.
Oh.
No, no. No, come on. He's a terror at this. When I was reading your autobiography, it is full of stories of how somebody says to you, "You've got 6 minutes," and 15 minutes later, you're still on.
Oh.
Can't get you off. I'm not. I'm keeping a tight rein on you.
Oh yeah,
in this
no,
period.
that was the London Casino, which is now the Prince of Wales Theatre, isn't it? That was with Bernie Delfont. Bernard.
6 minutes you've got, they
Bernard
said.
Delfont,
Yeah.
Lord Delfont.
Lord Delfont, exactly.
Or Bernie.
Now, the comedy also started in the army because, as you said, you were doing the boxing and you used it to make people laugh, didn't you?
That's right. You know, falling over and knocking about. And I was in the 10th Royal Hussars, riding horses. Right, oh, God, yeah. And even then I got laughs, but I didn't mean to. Like, you know, we were exercising 2 horses one day, one on either side. And the sergeant shouted out, "Follow me!" And that was fun because we followed him doing everything. And I was riding this horse and holding one on each side with the reins. And we came to a big hedge to jump, and my horse refused to jump, and the other 2 went over. And I was honestly, I've never heard such a laugh. All the blokes were falling off the horses laughing.
And you used to trip people up on parade, didn't you?
Oh, yes. Well, that's how it started. Shall I do a bit?
Go on.
All right. Cool. Well, if you're marching, I have to keep going in a circle here, but yeah. If you're marching ordinary like that, see, and then you suddenly with the drill sergeant wouldn't know if I started to do like that, see, with the same leg. Yes. And so you're saying, "Wisdom, wisdom. Just use your arms in a natural way, will you, for goodness sake?" So I did, and I did it like that. And then the blokes in front of me, you know, you just trip up and they go. And they didn't know. Well, the blokes knew I was messing about, but the drill sergeant didn't. Otherwise, I'd have been on the charge and got jankers.
So tell me, when you got into Civvy Street, how did you get into show business then?
Well, I was doing a charity show at the Cheltenham Town Hall when I was still in the army, and after the show, a man came round the dressing room and he said to me, "Do you do this professionally?" Well, he said, actually, "Do you do this professionally?" And I said, "No." He said, "Well, if you don't try it when you're demobbed, you must be raving mad." And so I did. That gentleman's name was Rex Harrison.
Oh. Oh. That's great. Oh.
So I went, eh?
So, carry on.
Yeah, no, my turn. Yeah. So I went to Collins Music Hall at Islington when I was demobbed. I went to the manager and he said, "What do you want?" I said, "I'd like to go on the stage, sir." He said, "Well, what do you do?" I said, "I've done troupe concerts in hospitals and things like that now." He said, "There's stars coming out of the end. You don't stand a chance." So I became that man's shadow for 3 weeks, really. I took a room nearby, well, cellar, and I became his shadow. I mean, if he was in the bar and he lifted a pint of beer to his mouth, my head was under his arm. Until eventually he said, "Look, if I let you go on First House," because it was twice nightly in those days, "if I let you go on First House and you're no good, will you promise to go away and leave me alone?" And I said, "OK." So I went on. Oh, dead scared I was. But I went on First House. And at the end of the show, nobody came round and said, "Well done." But the important thing, nobody came round and said, "Get out." Yeah. So I did Second House as well. And by Wednesday, an agent came in and booked me for the Portsmouth Coliseum.
And so that was it?
And Friday, another one came in and booked me for the Grand Theatre Basingstoke. You see, I never forget those things. Yeah. And I started to work hard, and I used to work and practice and rehearse for 12, 14 hours a day, every day.
So tell me, how your little man with the hat and the tight suit, who I didn't know was called the Gump. Oh. How was he born, and who named him? Well, in 1947, I started. That, by the way, the Collins Music Hall was at 6:15 on December the 17th, 1945. That was my first professional appearance. See? Etched on your brain.
Yeah, that's there. So, but by early 1947, I had been booked at a concert, a summer season, at Scarborough, and I was sharing the dressing room with a conjurer, and we used to do a different show every week. And I'd got the material for the 4 shows, you know, because I was only in about 10 or 15 minutes each show. But this conjurer was having difficulty with his last show. And he said, I'll tell you what, Norman, if I ask someone to come up from the audience to help me do the tricks, it could be you. I said, yeah, all right then. He said, dress scruffy. I said, OK. So I went out and I bought a suit for 30 shillings. That's about 50p in it now. So, suit for 30 shillings and a cap for 1 shilling. And when he invited someone up from the audience, that was me. I came up, and it worked so well. We were booked back at the London Casino at the end of that season as a double act. We did well, but he didn't want to be a double act, neither did I. He wanted to go his way, and so did I. But that's how it all started, with the Gump suit. The conjurer's name was David Nixon. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You've become an accomplished comedian and an accomplished straight actor. But I don't. Did you ever just tell a joke straight? I mean, can you just do that?
Oh, well, when I first started, I used to tell jokes.
Yeah.
But they used to be so funny, I couldn't help laughing at them myself. But,
yeah.
But I'm all right now. I've been practicing now. I never laugh now. I go straight through the joke, and I don't even snigger.
So, could you tell us one?
Well, I've done this before, and I don't want to, you know. No, but I've been practicing hard. Yeah. So, well, yes, all right. I'll try. I'll just have a drink of that, yeah. Well, I'll wait. Well, I was walking down the street the other day, and I saw some man laying in the road with his ear to a manhole cover. So I went over to him. I said, "What are you doing down there?" See, I said, "What are you doing down there?" He said, "Here, you have a look." So I got down. I've got to stand up for this now. I was walking down the street the other day, saw some man laying in the road with his ear to a manhole cover. I said, "What are you doing down there?" He says, he says, "You have a listen." So I got It's a funny joke when I tell it. It's about you Hey, what do you think of that?
That was wonderful. I know it was very funny. That was very funny, yeah.
I finished the joke, yeah.
Oh, you've got to finish it?
Yeah, he said, "You have a listen." So I got down, I put my head to the manhole cover. I said, "I can't hear anything." He said, "I know." He said, "It's been like that all bloody day."
Listen. Let's pull ourselves together here. Yeah. Would you like to go and sing us another song? Pull yourself together here. We want another song now.
Right.
What now? Yes, now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Norman Wisdom sings Falling in Love.
Falling in love is a youthful delight. It starts just before you leave school. It could even start sooner if it weren't for the fact that you're frightened of looking a fool. Then, hey presto, there's a change. You begin to feel proud, 'cause you've chosen a partner and you're out of the crowd. Now you hold hands gently to show that you care, and with a shy little kiss you start an affair. Now the first time I fell in love could only be classed as superb. The second affair was also quite nice, but the one I liked best was the third. Although 4 I was sure would be top of the list, it was beaten by 5, 6 and 7. And when 8 was perfection, with all that I wished, number 9 must have dropped in from heaven. And as the list grew bigger, it became just a habit. Any chance of a date, it couldn't wait, I'd just grab it. So I made up my mind to be much more fastidious and try to avoid all the ones that were hideous. Then common sense showed me the way, said I mustn't be greedy no more. Settle down with one only, then never feel lonely, with a wife and some kids I'd adore. Well, I suppose that my age was was reaching the stage where the joints had to be more elastic. They were wrinkled and aging, their faces need caging, but to get one at all was fantastic. So I started to court an old hag, 'cause I knew it was time to get wed. But then when I asked it, she said I was past it, and that made me wish I was dead. But I'm still trying hard, and nobody's barred, so I thought that I ought just to mention that with no luck so far, whoever you are, I've got a small house and a pension.
Over the years, Norman, you've made 40 films, and your
How many?
40.
40?
40, and your reputation has spread
I've
worldwide.
made 40?
Yes, you have. You became so...
Well, you tell me, can you nip through
No,
the names
I
of them?
can't nip. I knew you two. That
Oh,
you
right.
troublemaker, you. Now, your fame spread worldwide, and it enabled you to meet one of your all-time heroes, Charlie Chaplin, didn't it?
Oh, well, yes.
Are you going to tell me, or just say yes?
Well, go on, ask
No,
me.
I'm not going to tell you.
Ask me
Well, what
to.
was it like?
Oh.
How did you
no,
get...
no, I was over in Hollywood,
Yeah.
and this was early on. This was in 1949, my first trip over there. And he was in the studio. He was doing Limelight, and so I just went and to the stage door, sort of thing, and said I'd like to see Mr. Chaplin. And somebody said, "Get out! There's a lot of people want to see Mr. Chaplin." Well, no, he didn't. He said, "Yeah, shove off." He said, "There's a lot of people looking for Mr. Chaplin." And so I went and made a phone call, and I said, "May I speak to Mr. Chaplin?" I picked up with the voice. I said, "May I speak to Mr. Charles Chaplin?" Thank you. You see, and before you know what happened, he said hello, and I said, "It's Norman Wisdom here. I'd like to come and meet you for the." And he said, "Oh yeah, well I've heard of you, Norman. Oh yes, do come." And I went in, and it was absolutely fantastic meeting him. We spoke. You know, I was there for a couple of hours. Yeah. And yeah, marvellous bloke.
Oh, wonderful. Well, let's just have a look at one or two of the classic moments from some of the films you've made over the years. Count them.
If there's a wrong way to do it, a right way to mess it up, oh, nobody does it like me.
I said to myself, who is there to take a little weight off my shoulders? Who can I turn to unravel my problems? Norman, I am tempted to give you another chance.
Thank you, sir. If there's a wrong bell, I ring it. A wrong note, I sing it. Nobody does it like me.
No.
Don't laugh at me.
Nobody does it like me.
Now, you've written a film, haven't you, for television?
Well, I've written one. I got it ready. Actually, I've developed it for film, but no, I want to do it. But
Yeah.
they keep talking about it. That's all they do in show business. I'm afraid these days, talk about things, and you know, it's a marvellous film subject. But unfortunately, the British film industry has gone more or less. But it's just beginning to come back.
Out,
so I might be able to get my film away. That'd be nice. And I've got another one. I'm going to keep on about this. Hope they're listening. Yeah. So. I've got another one, 45 minutes actually, without a word of dialogue, all silent film, yeah. So I'm hoping. So if there's anybody listening, don't forget producers and directors. I'd be very grateful.
But you never stop anyway. You're touring all the time, aren't you?
Oh, I just finished a tour. Yes. Oh no, I like. There's no fun like work.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very big birthday for you next year, isn't it?
Yeah. Keep it quiet, eh?
How old are you?
No, eh?
Just say it to me. Betty? A fine figure of a man.
No, you don't believe that, do you?
Yes.
Oh, all right then.
And you're a granddad?
Yes, granddad, and I'll be another granddad in July.
And you do all your own stunts still?
Of course, I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, life is fun. You've got to make it fun, and I like gymnastics, fun. I like walking. I got my motorbike and cars, and it's only swanking.
But you live on the Isle of Man, don't you?
Yes. Well, I've got a place at Epsom as well, you know, when I come over and I share. But the Isle of Man is very nice. You know, a lot of people, when they're doing all right and can afford it, and I can just about now, because I've got enough money to be able to suffer in comfort, see. But a lot of people go and get a place in Spain and all that sort of, but that's soppy, because I chose a place where I could see Match of the Day in English.
Yeah. So, I mean, are you thinking about taking it easy at all, or what? No.
Oh, well, I don't work all the time now, really.
No.
Only most of it.
Yeah? So what have you got coming up? Hopefully the film or the...
Yeah, the film, and the other one is called He Who Laughs Last.
Yeah.
And they're talking about a situation comedy called Robbing Hood, which I like. And, you know, apart from that, another tour, things like that. See, I've got a very good agent, Johnny Manns, he's a mate of mine as well, so it's fun. Working is fun now.
You ain't never going to give up.
And if I don't get paid for...
Hannah, no, because you're going to make a fortune from your new CD and your album, of course. Talking of which...
Oh, yeah, my album is on sale in... well, all over different recording shops.
And what's it called?
And then my films are on sale in Woolworths.
Get
all
out.
Oh.
What's the album called? The new album?
Yeah, The Musical World of Wisdom.
Could
how does it sound?
The Musical World of Wisdom.
Yes, very good.
Could we have a song from it now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Finish up with, I may...
Don't laugh at me.
If I may have a kiss.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Norman Wisdom. Don't laugh at me.
I'm not good looking, and I'm not too smart. I may be foolish, but I've got a heart. I love the flowers, and I love the sun. But when I try to love the girls, they laugh at me and run. Don't laugh at me, 'cause I'm a fool. I know it's true, yes, I'm a fool. No one seems to care. I'd give the world to share my life with someone who really loves me. I see them all falling in love, but my lucky star hides up above. Someday maybe my star will shine on me. So don't laugh at me, 'cause I'm a fool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Mark. Thank you. A big thank you to Mr. I knew this one. A big thank you to Mr. Norman Wisdom. That's all we have time for today. I'll be back tomorrow with Jack Lemmon and Philip Schofield. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.